So thank you all for coming to this session. My name is Anel Gonzalez. As Norma said, I work as the Division Administrative Assistant for the Social and Behavioral Sciences, but I'm presenting today on some of our trade and industry programs, and that's where I worked for a long time prior to this. Okay, thank you, Jan. So they can hear me, so that's good. So I'm presenting on the air conditioning and refrigeration technology program. Sometimes people can't find, I'll just say it right off the bat, it's hard to find because everybody calls it HVAC, like we called it HVAC for here. But if you are looking for the program on the Palomar catalog, you will find it under ACR. So I'll just say that. So I always like to start presentations like this with some Palomar College lingo because I'm going to talk about this a little bit when we go over the ACR program. But Palomar offers a lot of different paths that you can build on, especially for the trades. One of the questions when I was in that area, I would get a lot of students asking me, hey, do you have this trade? And we did, and they would say, well, what's the difference between the classes at Palomar and like the ones that you take like at a for-profit school? And the big difference is that Palomar offers paths to build on. So we offer certificates of proficiency, which could be like a 3 to 4 classes, and then you can start a career. Then we have certificates of achievement, which could be a little bit longer than the 3 or 4 classes. And again, you can build on them. So you can start a career and keep going to school. Then we have Associates of Science, which is a traditional way that people kind of recognize community colleges, right? For like a two-year program. So that would be, if you were interested in Associates of Science in ACR, you would do all the requirements for the Certificate of Achievement plus General Ed. So it's, again, you're building. And then you heard Matt in the introduction talk about some of the students coming from adult ed who are talking about their path at Palomar and that they're transferred to university. So those are kind of some of the things that you can look forward to at Palomar. I also want to mention, and you're going to learn more about when you go back to the main session about all the student services, but I like to talk about some of the main ones, which I think ease the anxiety for some students, because we have staff to help you with enrollment, not just applying to Palomar, but like getting you enrolled in classes. We have financial aid for students, and we have academic counseling, we have tutoring, disability resource center. So there's so many more other programs to help you, but I'm just kind of mentioning the big ones, that I always recommend students to. And so there's a few more lingo things. And then, by the way, this is some of the buildings, and those are some of our students that were in the background. There's more, I wanted to talk about units really quick, just so when you hear about the different units that it takes to get an ACR certificate or a degree. So 12 or more units is considered full-time for a full-time student. Most classes at Palomar are about 3 to 4 units, especially all of our trades and industry classes. The majority of them are 4 units. And so then you will see when we talk about the program, there's requirements. So those are the classes that you have to take to earn that certificate. And then there's electives, and that usually electives, they give you a big list of classes that you can choose from. And to achieve your degree, you have to take a certain amount of units. So it's not rocket science, but sometimes people are like, what does it mean? Is 1 unit, 1 class? And so I just wanted to kind of mention that. And so in the trades and industry department, like I said, I'm going to talk about the air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration program. And we have a certificate of proficiency, which we call it the employment ready. And we have an associates of science, and then a certificate of achievement, which is it's an advanced degree from the first, the employment ready degree. We have automotive technology in this area as well, cabinetry and furniture technology, diesel technology, welding technology, and water and wastewater technology. So I just kind of wanted to mention all the trades in our area, in our Palomar. So for air conditioning, so our work ready courses, which again, it's a certificate of proficiency, students only have to complete these classes that you see here. So it's ACR 101, 102, 103, and 105. And those are the classes that you need to get your certificate of proficiency. So that's 4 classes. A lot of time you could get it in one semester if you wanted to, but a lot of our students are part-time students in this area. So a lot of times they'll take 101 and 102, and then the next semester 103 and 105. There will be a 104 that will be in the rotation, and that's a more advanced class, but it's not there yet. So basically, it's like I said, you can build on these programs. And so if you wanted to get your, let's say that you came to Palomar, you finished these courses, and you could start working. And then if you wanted to build on your certificate of proficiency, you would get your certificate of achievement, which is 2 more classes, which is the ACR 110 and the 112. And then again, like I said, you can continue building to get your Associates of Science. They require the certificate of achievement plus general ed. And so it would include some of these classes. And those are just some of the electives that they recommend. And I can stop here for some questions if anybody has questions before I move on. Nope, okay. And so the HVAC industry salary growth and careers. And so as you can see, the salary is pretty much on the low end, it's about 32,000 starting, 61,000 a year is average, and then 105 is the high end. And that's basically depending on the area. Of course, in Southern California, HVAC or HVAC technicians are like making a lot more money than this. This is like a national average of information. So I think, again, a really good career. And like I said, it's so great that you can build on. The growth, it's a 2.5% projected growth. So it's a pretty good growth. It means that if you get a career in this, it's not going to go away. And then again, careers in air conditioning, they are basically saying that entry level is going to get you, in the door, and the projected growth in this area is 4%. And let me go to the next one. And then our ACR instructor sent over some pictures. Our main instructor is Barry Valentine, and I'll give you his information at the end. But the way the class is structured is that students are in lecture, and then they could be in lecture for 15 minutes, and then they can go right into the lab to apply what they learned. And so the lecture and labs are right next to each other. And so when you go, if you are interested in ACR, and let's say you want to sign up for the ACR 101, you will see that it's scheduled. Sometimes it could be scheduled like Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 11:50 a.m. So it's and that means that you're going to be in the lecture lab combo, back and forth, working on applying your knowledge, basically. And I should mention that this ACR program was brand new right before COVID. And obviously some of the classes were still in person, but with very few students. And so all the equipment is state of the art. They're still adding new equipment, and you're gonna learn, you know, not just like the old air conditioning systems, but you'll be working and learning all the new technologies like the Nest and all the programming, things like that. And I wanted to mention that there's more support in the trades. All of our trades programs meet with their industry advisory boards every at least once a year, some every semester, and that's because they invite people that are business owners, people that are running their HVAC companies, big names and little names, and because we want to make sure that we're teaching students what they need in the job, right? So we're not going to be teaching old materials. And so the advisory boards really help create curriculum. They recommend software. Sometimes they recommend machinery that students need to learn. And then we also have job placement and internship. We have a really good job placement coordinator who's a Palomar employee, Bruce Reeves, and he helps in the trades and working with the industry partners and he can help students with applications, resumes, interviews. And then we also have scholarships in just for students in the trades that could cover tools if needed and books. So without further ado, I will introduce you to Barry, our main instructor. And then we also have, I didn't put a picture of her, Michelle Tucker is the academic department assistant in that area. And so if you ever have any questions, Barry is very responsive to just student questions, especially because he's the faculty advisor for ACR. So any specific questions about the actual, you know, like what could you do with your ACR degree or what path you should take? He's a great person to talk to. And then Michelle can give you general information about, or even help, you know, with different things if, let's say, if you can't enroll in a class or something like that. So I can stop talking and take questions. And feel free to put them in the chat as well.